Hey friends, welcome back to Grey and Crochet. In this video we'll be testing out if some blanket yarn works on the 48 pin Sentro knitting machine. This is the Motivera blanket yarn in the color white, and this is just some black millins that I found. I did just buy this to make my brother-in-law a scarf for his birthday, which is in the month of March. It would have already passed by the time you're watching this. He does follow this channel, so I was a bit hesitant to post it earlier, but basically he loves Collingwood, which is an AFL team, and I thought I would make him a scarf in the team colors, which is black and white, very similar to the one that I made for Gumtree Grays. I will link the video up here if you're interested, but in blanket yarn instead. Now I have a feeling this might not go through the machine. I'm gonna try, and I'm gonna take you guys along for the journey as well, so we can all learn, if you're a newbie like me, if the machine will actually work with blanket yarn. So I will see you in just a second. I've gone ahead and cast it on 10 rows of waste yarn, and I think I'm going to start with black. So I'm just going to check if it fits through the tension guide first, and it does, but it is a little bit tight, and because I'm working with millins, I don't know if this might strip the fibers or anything like that, because it's very unpredictable with millins. You just never know what kind of yarn you're getting. So I reckon I'm just going to hold it for tension, but it does fit through the yarn guide here, and hopefully this will work. So I'm just going to hold the scrap yarn and the blanket yarn just to make sure it is catching the stitches, and it looks like it is. So hopefully this works. I might just go slow just to make sure does catch the yarn. Okay, one round done on the blanket yarn. The machine is struggling a little bit to wind the blanket yarn, so I'm just going to go slow. I'm a bit nervous about breaking it. Okay, that is 3 rounds done, and it is struggling a little bit, but it seems to be knitting, which is good. That's what we wanted. I have a feeling I have dropped stitches somewhere, but we will just continue on. I'm pretty sure it is there, so that there is a drop stitch. Yep, and I've just dropped stitches again here. So I reckon this yarn is too thick for the knitting machine, but at least we know early on, and we didn't, go through maybe 100 rows before we figured that out, but definitely not suitable to the knitting machine. I did notice a few drop stitches here, here, so it is definitely struggling, and even churning it out is a little bit of a nightmare. So I'm just going to wind this out just so we can re-ravel the yarn. So for the purpose of this video, I am going to be testing out the Motivera blanket yarn as well, to see if different brands of blanket yarn work up differently on this knitting machine. So I have gone ahead and just cast it on the white, so just one row of it, and I am just going to go ahead and churn. And I definitely feel a difference just from churning this out. It is still a bit hard to do, but it is moving a lot easier and a lot smoother than when I was doing the black yarn. Hopefully you guys can also tell in the video that it is moving a lot quicker. And so far, it does seem to be catching the stitches, but We shall keep going and see if that changes. So we are about 8 rows in, and I don't see any drop stitches, but it is getting a little bit harder to churn now. I'm just gonna keep going for a few more rounds just to see if any more drop, because with the black we did make it through a few rows before it started failing. Oops, and I just found one that dropped there. Yep, and we've dropped another one there. So I reckon I'm going to stop testing this one out now. So both blanket yarns that I have tried have failed. I'm just going to go ahead and unravel this, and I will see you very shortly. And just as we thought, it was a fail. So I did attempt it with obviously bulky weight yarn. I'm not sure if you can find thinner blanket yarn, perhaps like a thinner chenille or a velvet yarn. You may be able to work through the knitting machine. I'm not really sure how that would go with shedding. If I do have any, I might test it out on a future video, so subscribe so you don't miss that when that comes out. But in terms of bulky weight blanket yarn, it is definitely a no-go. Your machine will struggle, it will drop stitches, you might even break it, so don't try it. I tried it for you. So I'm really hoping my machine lasts another few months and it isn't dead after this, but we shall see. Thank you so much for joining me for this itty bitty video. I will see you in this one right here.